Greetings and merry new Div 2 content. Like many of you, I have been sinking my teeth into the updated bugfest that is Division 2, promises of apparel events that have been delayed yet again, and suffering the expertise system improperly implemented, causing many people to be rolled back or in some cases reset. Sorry conflict players, there is no love for you today. Personally, I went from 17 down to 9 and have since scraped my way back to 11. But mostly I've been trying to get back into the game that for some bizarre reason I just absolutely love, which may surprise some of you due to the seething nature of this video. Now, for the past 3 months I have been slapping Elden Ring around, hitting the max level, getting every single item in the game on one character, while enjoying PvP on 3 other characters, all at different levels. I won't lie, I completely forgot about Ubisoft and Division 2 during this hiatus, till I heard that Ubisoft was poking fun at FromSoft for making an actual complete game with correctly implemented functions, mostly, and what was not functioning correctly was quickly fixed. FromSoft listened to player feedback and patched compromises, fixes and balances into the game. In short, they are good devs. Now, this is not intended to portray my fangirl nature for Elden Ring, more what a good dev team that cares should be doing. Fast forward 3 months and I download the PTS for Division 2 title update 15. Now, I did do a video on this, but in the interest of keeping the topic moving forward, let's just say it was a mess. A public mess server, if you will. For the PTS duration, I circled the forums like a shark. Due to my lack of being able to stay connected for more than 10 minutes, I read every post carefully, gathering information and general consensus of the player base's feelings. Things were not looking good. 8-man missions are not what the community wanted, expertise is a waste of time and literally has 0 point, Heartbreak is too powerful, too much grind, not enough reward, too much time invested with nothing to show. I was hopeful that developers would address the issues, considering that at the very least 95% of the forum posts were negative. Something would change, right? No. TU15 was released and boy was it Delta. Fun. I mean fun. Kingbreaker had the incorrect model, Countdown was a surefire way to get yourself looking at the load screen for 10 minutes, and Dare was stoned, which is absolutely GR8+1. Heartbreaker at the very least is fun though, right? Well, putting the new shiny gear aspect aside, does anyone have any actual plans to go back to their previous DPS setups? Before Heartbreaker, I was very partial to Sacrifice and Shield Splinter. I spent time and resources getting proficient and upgrading it while I worked on my Heartbreaker build. Upon using Heartbreaker, the damage, the armor, and adding in that I have heard that the devs have no plans to balance it, it near enough makes any form of previous DPS setups redundant. So as it stands, even someone as salty as me has no plans to go back to the DPS builds I know and love. Heartbreaker is just too good, but not in a good way. Now obviously, we all like to feel OP and have a little bit of fun, absolutely trashing some NPCs. Though for me, Heartbreaker has completely ruined the diversity of the game. Now, I could just choose not to play with Heartbreaker, true. However, in squad settings, of which I like to play in multiplayer game after all. Countdown in particular though, when it works, not using Heartbreaker puts you at a complete disadvantage. And this is absolutely seen in the plethora of lives currently being draped across YouTube right now. Look at my 8 million damage a shot Heartbreaker build, proceeds to show you footage in Countdown, which has some serious buffs. On average, you will gain a 57% increase in damage in Countdown, up to a potential of doubling your damage. Team buffs are a thing, this is how raids are done. It's not all about the individual, they help and buff each other. 2, the Countdown measures can be reversed to provide you and your team with some easy flat damage increases after your build stats and buffs, so the game works out your damage, multipliers and T-buffs, then after the fact adds in a straight buff of up to 50%. So anyone showing their OMG new meta best build in Countdown is straight up lying to you. That build is not good. Speaking of not that good, due to how time to kill works, DPS, measuring and efficiency, Headhunter builds, especially with Regulus, are still the best way to go for open world content. There has been no meta shift. Even with Heartbreaker in the mix, rifles are still best in slot, Regulus with Chain Killer is still the most efficient, and from a technical standpoint, shotguns have the highest DPS. This is not to say Heartbreaker is bad, as I previously mentioned, it is silly powerful, but only really in the right environment, such as Countdown. It has more closed the gap between rifles and assault rifles. There is also a cacophony of players who now suddenly believe we are able to hit the hundreds of millions. This has been happening for quite some time now, and this is absolutely only required in very, very niche instances. This is a clip from my clan leader taken in October 2021, so last year.
Dead.
Evidently he is not running Heartbreaker. Oh, and suddenly one-shotting hunters, so let's just disperse that myth immediately, shall we?
And your wife doesn't play video games?
Yes.
What is this? Never seen this in
Okay, I love that more and more women are very real and more okay, I feel get to change with all this stuff. I'm sorry.
You can't do 2 things at one time, baby. Oh my god.
Usually oh, exotic cash. Do you need anything still, Sewer?
We're also going to just quickly check out the tip of the spear Headhunter sniper build, which apparently is new. This is from February, floor 100, Legendary Summit. This is how we used to farm, and since the nerf to XP on floor 100, we then adopted floor 10 and 90. Again, players are suddenly thinking floor 10 or 90 is something new. It's not. As a quick tangent, if I may, you should all go follow Rise of Brotality over on Twitch. There is a link in the description below. Since about TU15, players have been capable of hitting the billion damage marker in a single shot within very, very niche scenarios. Though the way content is now suddenly being portrayed due to what can only be described as a messy tapestry of bugs, they would have you believe that TU15 has brought something new and grand to Division. It hasn't. Now, don't get me wrong, I am happy that we are getting new content, finally, after 2 years. However, with the constant swapping of dev teams, this game has a mixed bag of identities, adding in some weird power struggle where everyone wishes to be heard, the player base is left to suffer. To state my point, the devs have announced that they will not be addressing connectivity issues and the plague of deltas we are all experienced till at least TU16. So Massive are more focused on trapping or completely turning away new players than keeping the ones that have kept the game alive for the past 2 years while they left it to rot. I'm aware that statement probably seems a tad harsh, but what can I say? This is just how I feel. I for one would have preferred to wait for the new content while they fix some of the more glaring issues at hand, such as the aforementioned connection and delta issues. All this seems like the salty ramblings of someone well past their sell-by date, but between the tide of lies, lack of care and rose-tinted glasses from both content creators and the dev team alike, I am fast approaching the ideology of humane euthanasia for this game. I am bored of seeing YouTube videos of people who are fundamentally in denial of the state of the game and its developers, viewing all with rose-tinted glasses, that it is not that bad. We should have faith and be patient, support the devs and they support us. The gaming community as a whole deserves better than this. It's not just the Division either. See Cyberpunk and Battlefield 2042 for further examples of what happens when devs do not respect their gaming communities. I absolutely love this game, and I've met some amazing people through this game. Alas, it is failing me. The devs are failing me. The Division 2 player base absolutely deserves better than this.